sets up for more of a poppy angle for Tian that I expect. I mean, it could. Well, even the Nidalee top, he builds AD. It's Kennen, if anything. Yeah. Or as Ziggs for Gala, which of course I wouldn't rule out. As
I do like this though.
I think it's going to be a Tian Poppy.
Can't pick that again.
Or Xin,
unfortunately.
Yeah,
Xin Zhao was still left open as well, and the Vi already taken away, so that kind of big skirmish matchup is gone. It's also the Sion locked in for Breeze. I mean, I do like this pick.
Hold on. If Rookie wants to get weird, we can Vladimir here. I think that's the weird pick. We can still find some magic damage and actually play into that Sion.
And what, Yone go top?
No, you could have the... No, you play Vlad.
Oh, you say Rookie locks in.
Yeah, you play Vlad into the Sion.
I thought you were saying Rookie play Vladimir. It's the Ezreal instead into a Sion. That's bold.
It is. You're going to have to find a way to get around some other pieces. As I will say the Bork Yone, again, like... I think the goal here for IG is to ignore the Sion and play the rest of the fight. Ezreal can for sure help with that, with some damage over the top with a True Shot Barrage, maybe looking to synergize with Yone. As... Top lane bans protect the Ezreal, like we top lane bans and maybe protect Breathe in that top lane. Curious if we have a Vladimir takeaway, just given that again Rumble's out of the pool. You don't want to play Kennen into Sion. If it's Kennen into Sion, then that feels terrible. So just wondering how we're gonna find our magic damage here as IG. Also have an option to take away something like a Cho'Gath, which I actually think has decent value here.
Cho'Gath, Gragas, maybe, if that ever comes into fold. But we haven't really seen that as much recently. The Karma is going to be banned away, so they're definitely focusing into this 2v2 in bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, that works as well. Ezreal Karma could be kind of tough to deal with as a 0 Scion. Can see that. Karma, the Mantra E, nice thematic counter. Try and buy some space against the Scion. So,
is that another counter pick for the Shy here, then?
I mean, yeah, that's
but I mean, we already have the top lane match.
Exactly. That's you figured it out. It's gonna be top lane on 4 and then support on 5. Unless you want to prio pick something like an Alistar, which frankly could go over here. And it's not like you can see a Sylas come through on the other side, right? So I actually wouldn't mind if you power pick the Alistar. I think Alistar is really justified to be that OP. I think the fear of that though is that then you get like Ashe Brahmed, which could be really scary.
True.
So. Some choices and decisions to make here if you're IG.
How we feeling halfway through this for Weibo comparatively to game number 1? Do we feel like we're getting set up with better tools?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, Sion Azir, it's definitely a lot of scaling and a pretty solid core. Go with this. I like this pick. We're down magic damage, but I don't think it matters that much, given that Sion's like the only tank, and then we're just gonna try to ignore the Sion.
The Alistar.
Yes. Okay,
so you were right initially.
Yeah, I mean, that's the prio. It's the one support you could prio pick. Again, I'm scared for Ashe Braum with this. I think Ashe Braum could be a really solid identity where you just kite back as Weibo and really encourage IG to try and overextend into you. I know Braum isn't the most common pick that we have into Ezreal, but still could be an option. Because if Alistar goes in, you have really good answers. And you already have a little bit of main engage by Xin and Sion. And the Braum synergizes really well with Xin and Azir. So that will be the selection. Yeah. And now we're going to see if things get weird for the Shy and we get a Vladimir. If we get a Vladimir, then I get Ness in this draft, you know?
Well, you've already got an S. I was just about to glaze you, bro. Like,
if it's Vladimir,
there's a reason why we brought you on. All I'm saying, man.
If it's Vlad, you can glaze.
You've labeled out this draft so well. We'll see what that final pick is going to end up being, what the Shy wants to go for into that Sion matchup. Again, definitely has played almost everything under the sun here so far in the split. And returning to what you said would have been good earlier, the Yorick is the lock-in.
Oh, you have really started to see this pick emerge as an answer into the Sion. It doesn't bring that magic damage that IG is looking for, but now IG have a really strong 1-3-1 identity to go into this very strong team fighting core that we have from Weibo. So at least they give themselves that alternative win condition and avoiding these 5v5s. And against a Weibo comp that, again, their 5v5 is looking very strong just based on draft.
Yeah.
So really going to encourage IG to overextend into them, whereas IG going to try and really stretch this map and play out 3 lanes, use that to find some angles and find some, they can win to the side lane. So I think priority definitely on Grubs here for IG is could really help open up the map for a Yorick and a Yone.
Now, do you feel like we're going to get a lot of the same approach, at least from the jungle standpoint, with all that skirmishing? I know we're not as much on carry junglers here, but it is still a very skirmish-heavy matchup in the way that Sejuani, the way that Xin Zhao plays, but not only that, the way that Tian and Jiejie play.
That's a good question. We're gonna have to find out about that one. I think for me, if I'm IG, like I have very sufficient solo laners. Yone might need to cover early, so I think that Jiejie is gonna look to really farm up, whereas Tian, if anyone's gonna look for plays, it might be him. I think that for him, pathing bot makes more sense to me. Because again, the Ashe Braum is a really good gank assist for a Xin Zhao. So I'm expecting to see that, and then maybe some looks bot. The answer, I think for me is, does IG match that? Because I think that's really what Weibo's showing. That, or when you have Ashe Braum, you can always level 1 and try and vertical split the map or do something creative. So definitely something IG will have to look out for early.
Well, let's see in game number 2 if Weibo can pull it back from the brink, stave themselves off of going on a loss streak, and stop IG's come up here as we're heading into game number 2. This could be 3 in a row for IG, and they might just start looking like the real deal.
Yeah, we'll move to 6-3 in the first round robin, as this is the matchup that really wraps up their first round robin. As we do see that Ashe Braum posturing a little bit aggressively, but Rookie's doing a nice job of scouting it all out.
Why is everybody grabbing the shawarma Braum?
Oh, it's the new
It's not
skin.
safe to run around with the shawarma, all right? You can't do it at a door. That doesn't work.
It's the new skin, I'm actually curious. I really wonder if Riot gives players a. I feel like Riot should give players extra money for playing the new skins. I encourage them, just be like, hey, you know what? We'll throw you a few schmeckles if you help us sell the new hot stuff.
The fact that I saw that the Faker $500 skin is not available to the unlocked accounts, that's when I knew that that's never gonna happen.
Well, that's fine. Unlocked accounts are only for a special period.
True.
As I will say, as a college student that had one, that was pretty epic. At the moment, we do see Tian working his way from top to bot. I'm not too surprised there. I did think that Jiejie had more options. We'll be matching this as Erha. Gonna posture very aggressively here, but a nice headbutt backwards from Meiko.
Dude, Meiko's got his number.
I mean, again, Erha has looked okay in his first few series, but Meiko, one of the, if not the, support GOAT in LPL history, and has looked to be on better form in the last couple of series. We're used to seeing Meiko, legendary player that we have in the league. So creative attempt by Erha, but a good answer by Meiko.
Yeah, and that's what makes that recombination of him and Jiejie so powerful. TheShy's losing out on the top lane matchup. Breathe. Okay. Maybe looking to flash on. I'm not going to go any further, but that's why I've really liked the combinations. You've seen the kind of rebuilding of that synergy between him and Jiejie. Obviously, world champions together on EDG. Yeah. But when they are functioning together on the map, that's what made that EDG roster so powerful. And they just know where to be and when to be on the timing.
Obviously, TheShy trading heavily in top side. Both top laners having access to one shield, second wind, and Yorick some bonus healing on the Q. I think that trade's okay. As junglers are not going up there, so TheShy, if he's able to pull that one out volatilely, it should be okay for the Yorick, who will win out of that match as time goes on. And with time going on, TheShy going to clean up this turret, or the wave under his turret, I should say, to the best of his abilities. And Jiejie, cleaning up the rest of his jungle, actually going to skip over the blue buff to try and get bot early and cover his bot lane. Xin, wrapping up that last camp, will be up a level.
Okay.
Tian skipping over it too, because yeah, they know.
Insta engage, on-site fight by Tian and Jiejie. It's the 1v1 and the 2v2 happening at the same time. Concussive blows is going to connect. Light able to chase down with the approach velocity. Going to catch onto Gala. Gala has no mana. Going to have to burn the flash. Wind becomes lightning. Tian is in there. Big headbutt by Meiko, but it's not going to be enough to fight back. Here it is. Concussive blows again in the Braum. Early game is coming in clutch, and Tian is on a rampage here early. He wants to try to get another kill, but it will be the 2-for-1 trade in favor of Weibo. Now, Rookie going on to Xiaohu. Under turret, not going to go down. Top lane, TheShy going in on a breed. Everybody's fighting across the map.
And again, the fight being won by Weibo on the bot side, that's why going into this draft, I wasn't surprised that Weibo was pathing towards bot. That's why I said IG had the choice. Again, Ashe, Xin, Braum, that trio, so strong early on. I was surprised to see Jiejie match it. Obviously, him skipping the camp, trying to get there early was a big deal. And now, speaking of get there early, Light, he's swapped up the top lane early. Will actually pick up a nice, really thick wave for him. That feels great for Light, as the swap going to have to come in to be answered here by Ezreal later on.
If TheShy didn't suspect things, yeah, it was a little bit scary there. Could have been ran down by Light. Not going to come up of it, but yeah, that trade is not going to be there just yet in the lane
They froze
swaps.
that wave top. That's really, really big here for Weibo. Because, of course, it would have to be answered by Gala, who's going to be late, and we might just see a full shift go in. As yet, Gala going to base, but Rookie TPing back mid. Again, this wave is frozen, so just a dead lane here. At a really good timer for Weibo. Again, IG not able to farm this. Like, it's not like we're contesting anything at the moment, so it's just Weibo ending up killing a lane, coming up with economies. So that swap on the back half of that 3v3 that was won for Weibo, also really good on the top side, as they really punished Gala, who stayed for one wave too long bot, and lost out on a lot of creeps up top. So you're going to see, like, again, Light is kind of up in XP, and that freeze is very expensive for IG. Well played by Weibo.
And we were talking in the draft about the grub contests. We are getting to that point. Dragon seems like a far-flung thought for both sides because we have all that focus towards top side. Rookie is trading heavy with Xiaohu, but grubs are coming up in less than 20 seconds.
These grubs go over to Weibo. I don't see a world where IG are going to contest these. Again, IG would love to have grubs this game with the Yorick and the Yone wanting to split the map. You can see because of that swap with Gala being laid up top, the one who was really punished for this was TheShy, who is now down quite a bit of CS as he walked back to that bot lane to save TP. So a potential for IG to actually have numbers around this grub fight. But Breathe is walking up and just threatening the fact that he can press R and use that highway to go down river and join this one. Whereas TheShy, of course, will have to join with the TP, and it looks like they're just going to give that one up.
He's also making sure they can't do the dragon.
Yeah, again, IG are a little bit behind. Yeah, this dragon, I think, can still be done, but Jiejie actually going to base. A good hawk shot by Light scouted out the dragon and sees that IG is not on it. So we'll see if Weibo is aware that they have Jiejie joining on the top side, as he had the base and go protect his bot lane from a potential dive. Yeah.
Oh, Gala's about to get scooped and duped here. Boom! As Xiaohu comes up big and topside. Tian's going to fall in through. Erha will go down. It gives the kill back to Meiko. That's a massive wave, though, trying to be picked up by Jiejie. Rookie is right around the corner. Both are going to have the ultimates available to them now, but it looks like it's a little bit too too late.
Late on the hover and the cover, and again, I love how Weibo is using the strength of the Ashe Braum Xin. It really started with that bot lane play, but it led to that topside play where the Ashe was able to freeze, and they slow stacked the wave into a dive. And now Gala is centuries behind this Ashe, as he's down a full level in the early game, so.
Almost 1,000 just in that individual advantage, but it's even going to get worse here. He is going to go to that mid lane, try to scoop up some of that, but the Dragon's still not going to be stacking up for either side. Weibo in a consistent advantage early here, and that's where we do a check-in on seeing if this consistent advantage early is going to be enough for Weibo to stop the advance of what a 2-3 item power spike IG looks like.
Oh, Xiaohu did great work on the last tower dive, now being dove
here. That feels
funny,
bad. That Enchanted Crystal Arrow actually buying a lot of time. Jiejie just dies to the turret ramp up. Tian claims the kill and a nice sniper shot from Light across the map.
Yeah, the Glacial Prison, the tick damage ended up getting aggro on the Jiejie, who was cleaned up by Tian. So a good answer on the dive against Xiaohu, who of course was the reason that first dive was able to work out. Now, with him being taken out, Mazel, we're starting to see a couple discrepancies on the scoreboard. As of course, we were highlighting Light versus Gala, but now Rookie being up against a Xiaohu like this is something that IG can really look to punish. Again, they need to open up these side lanes.
Oh,
that was goofy.
It's just because it follows through after he technically hit, so he just flashed too early.
Yeah, he flashed too early. That's the thing. He needed to wait for Alistar to get closer to the hit, like the end hitbox, right? Because it was still technically during the channel, I guess, instead of because he flashed back. So he needs
coding
to flash
is funny
to the side or forwards. Yeah. Anyway.
But still a little bit of advantage for Weibo. Much better position. I want to go back to that conversation. Like, do we feel like IG's power spikes are enough to kind of let them see a light at the end of the tunnel?
They need a little bit of time. They need to really open up the map. They need side aim pressure, as Jiejie is, of course, down flash.
He's getting ran down. Tian just said, "You shall not move. I will take you down." As the kill goes to Light, and Tian is running this one.
I mean, that's why we were worried about that Alistar blind, because for me, Alistar is a real power pick in the meta right now. I think he's very strong, and stronger than a lot of other supports, just because with that ultimate, you're pretty much guaranteed 2 spell rotations in a fight. Like, a lot of supports like Rel, like, you aren't quite as tanky as the Alistar later on, and you are more powerful when, you know, power flashes are down and power plays aren't available, as Alistar, the combo is just so dominating, but you can see what this Ashe Braum can do, especially with a Xin Zhao, as Weibo's used this trio really, really well to punish IG. And again, IG is a very melee-heavy comp that is very vulnerable to stuff like Ashe Braum. So I did really like this draft for Weibo. I feel like it's very well-rounded. And again, IG have to win outside of the fights. They have to win with their side lane prowess that they will have with this Yorick and Yone, especially this Yone that is ahead. So really going to be on these IG solo laners to try and open up this map.
They really want to get some of these grub stacks, and now that they're coming up the second spawn, Weibo on the verge of Grub-ageddon, redeploying out towards mid to break off over towards this spawn.
They are much stronger right now, so that makes it tough for IG to even think about contesting.
Jiejie is literally across the map, so
wow,
guess they're okay giving 6 grubs.
And really far behind. I mean, Tian's really big right now with the Ashe Braum there too, but this is starting to get concerning now for IG.
A little bit of proxying here. Want to get to watch Bree have a little bit of fun. TheShy getting flashed on by Erha. Now Light trying to chase him down. Concussive blow is going to be flashed out of. Glacial Fissure coming through though. TheShy is pretty tanky, but not tanky enough. Going under tower, going down one more. And Light's going to clean him up. Maidenless virtue signaling from TheShy. And he will not have anything left. That's a proxy from deep in the base from Breathe. And Light on top of Tian's performance. I mean, these guys are electric.
Again, a solid draft identity for Weibo. They're executing well. And I thought that the last game of this series, Mazel, like Weibo, they had a good start to the game. They just made the wrong decisions in terms of following it through. This game, we've seen them make the right decisions again early. I think they've manipulated a few of these lanes to, again, get a big lead onto the Ashe. And now they can escape the lead. Of course, it's only Rookie that's ahead here for IG as he's looking.
Bros way off the mark there. They're still trying to take down Tian. Slowly but surely he finally falls, but that's so much already going down. Big pickups though from IG, and Rookie is starting to look like this Yone that could potentially win games. As he's going for the flip play, look at Rookie! He's feeling himself, and go ahead and feel some more, King, as Rookie is lighting the fire under Invictus Gaming.
Rookie, pop off, King. You were the one that was given a lead when your team has a deficit, and Rookie doing his damnedest to drag his team back in. As we'll see him escape this
buffer.
Great use of the E from Rookie, able to snap right on back, walks away from Xiaohu. Rookie with the highlight play.
Dude, this guy is on fire, man. I love it. The
Rookie.
Silas into the Yone. I love it because I literally, the clips that we were looking at was Rookie on Silas and Yone, because these have been pivotal picks for him. Not only in the way that he dictates team fights, but the way he uses his entrances into them. And we'll see this initial play kick off. Rookie was the one that started it, and he's the one that finishes it.
I mean, Rookie just put his balls on the table, man, and took apart Weibo Gaming with this one. As, again, he was the one that was ahead. He has the lead. That would have been a triple Q. It was stuffed by the shield of Braum, as that technically is a projectile. And then the back half, Rookie, the creep catches the tower aggro, the flash R to catch the flashless Light. He was the healthiest one, so taking aggro there correct, uses the Q3 to get out of it. Then we don't even see the E that he used to actually snap back after he was Emperor's divided backwards, as Meiko, no flash.
God, he just does
Ashe Braum. Yeah.
I'll just say he had a moment to pop R. Like, he wasn't CC'd that entire time.
It was on cooldown.
Unfortunately, not able to do it. Maybe not respecting the damage. Isn't going to be there now for that potential setup in mid lane. Luckily, you still have some safety from Gala. Side lane presence from Rookie. Xiaohu trying to do his best to scoop up some side lane gold as well. But decent leads being developed by Weibo.
Yeah,
there's always that constant threat of Rookie going.
I gotta say, Mazel, on the back half, like, I just realized it's 4 kills on the Meiko.
It is.
Which I will say can be a little expensive later on. Because, I mean, I don't want to diminish support items. They are quite strong, but you don't want your gold on a support. You want your gold on the carries.
That's true.
And the likes of Rookie, who, again,
does it
is
being
the carry
Meiko
for IG.
change any of that?
Huh?
I
No,
said, does the
no.
person with 4 kill steals? Okay.
No, unfortunately, it makes him less of a goat, sadly. I like how you did say
Goat
4 kill
status.
steals, though, and just assume that they were not kill secures, which I feel like is a little bit offensive to Meiko. It's, you know, support kill secures are important. At the moment, Breathe proxying, we'll see if he TP's down. Dragon's been started. This might get burned. TP coming in.
Breathe already
Good
coming
going.
in. Dragon secured by Tian now as well. Missed on the Emperor Divide by Xiaohu as Rookie getting the dodge out. Xiaohu trying to get away. Rookie is making mincemeat of this front line, back line rather, as a 3-man knockup. Now Weibo feeling a little bit hesitant in this fight. They're going to try to chase down Breathe. TheShy has an angle here as well. The flash going to come out. The wall is there. Tian finally rejoining. Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto TheShy. TheShy double knockup by Xiaohu. Big fate seal from Rookie! Shutting him down, but he goes down. And now the front-to-back play going the way of Weibo as well. That extra effort from Light really putting in work here for Weibo's team comp.
Also, the patch on the Yone. Rookie wasn't able to snap out of some of the CC that was heading towards him, as it was a massive fight from Rookie, who has the lead. But Weibo Gaming on the kite again. You're chasing an Azir, chasing an Ashe, chasing a Braum, and Weibo punish on the overchase of IG.
That is a massive overextension. The lead continues to be in Weibo's favor here as well. It looks like some Hex Gate's going to get them back out onto the map. Tian actually looking for a skirmish over the Scuttle Crab. Is going to go ahead and steal that one away. Easy does it. Rift Herald is up on the other side of the map, though, Cubby. How much pressure do we put over there as we take a look back into the Dragon fight?
I know that Weibo wins this fight, but watch how Rookie plays this. This is so nasty, actually, on the Yone. Again, hits the Q3 into the E to avoid the Emperor's Divide from Yone, and then stays. He stays on the side, so even when Xiaohu flashes out, it's still able to actually get something from the fight and then reset the line of the back half. But again, IG fighting into Ashe, Braum, Azir. So many slows to get through. TheShy overextends that Q on the Breathe, leads to TheShy kind of dying for free. And then Rookie, I like this play. I actually thought this angle was good. I mean, he catches both parries here. The thing was that Breathe just held on to his ultimate. Rookie was trying to stick around to clean up those carries, so the train connected on the Yone. That created a CC chain big enough to take down Rookie, who, again, has to be the stud of this game for IG.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally the only one that can find the angle. There you go, another fate sealed, and Xiaohu's fate has just been that. A 4th kill for Rookie. And how plausible is it, man? This guy has been the GOAT for IG. He's back home. He's back where he earned that star, right alongside TheShy. And he's got all the tools here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to be dodged out of. Right, going into the re-engage goes Rookie. Erha trying to look for Meiko. The Rookie will go back. His pressure, buying time for Meiko to get out. How plausible is it, Cubby?
It's looking pretty plausible, man. Rookie is doing his damnedest this game, as I really thought Meiko might have gone down there with no ult being but even just scared to commit onto a very squishy Alistar in that instance, given the threat that Rookie has on this Yone. Who, again, I mean, I think this game just has to come down to Rookie. Also, I know that Xiaohu looked a little bit silly under that turret. I think he was going for the Shurima Shuffle, where the minions were low enough. I think if he hits it, he kills the wave and might threaten IG. But a good Glacial Prison from Jiejie did cage the bird, who was trying to pull some moves here in the bot lane. And, okay, we're going to get a replay this one again. I think he's looking to kill the wave with the EQ on this combo. And, of course, Zhu kind of Jiejie as well. But with where he threw that R, very clean.
Sejuani drifting. As we go back to live, Tian is actually taking that Rift Herald solo. Xiaohu doing what a good side lane Azir does and picking up some of that standing gold with one of the towers going down as well. They do have a little bit of pressure around this Rift Herald to deal with. Looks like everything will be just fine. They were able to secure the feats earlier as well, so they'll have those boot upgrades if they want them, but more importantly, it's about this Rift Herald and how quickly they want to burst down this mid lane outer tower. We do have second item completions coming across the map here, Cubby.
And I think it's so big that Weibo, again, we talked about IG, their ability to stretch the map with Yorick and Yone. like the 5v5, look at Weibo's comp, like that's just gonna be easier to execute, right? I don't think I have to really explain that one to our fans at home. But for IG, there are ways that they have to play around it, right? Play for side lane trail, play for side pressure. Weibo, to really help deny that win condition, 6 grubs, full neutral control so far. IG hasn't threatened a single neutral objective, so it really is Weibo. It's just Xiaohu being at that deficit. But frankly, with where the game state's at right now, Mazel, still feels very Weibo favored. And the pressure's going to start to come on to IG. Like, they can't threaten these inners yet. And this dragon spawning at 20, I don't know if IG can even really take this fight. And fights are difficult for them. We've seen that be the case against this Weibo comp. So Weibo have a real opportunity to put IG to bind here if they have a Queen Dragon.
Be a soul point on a Hextech soul as well would be really, really nice for them. Oh, playing with the vision. True Shot Barrage only going to see 1. You realize they haven't started it up just yet. Big question I have is, when does Gala ever become relevant in this game? And I might not see the answer to that, as Tian going to go for his own answer in mid lane. The equation is Rift Herald versus Turret. Rift Herald going to get a charge, but Turret still stronger. Meiko was on a big flank, but now needs to be careful.
He is being flushed out, though. Tian sees that ward is fresh, so they're going to go do their due diligence to make sure that Meiko's not behind them. Xiaohu also going to go pick up that clock wave. Meanwhile, of course, TheShy has now equipped that level 11 mark, so that Maiden getting a little bit bigger on the Rift. And as this game goes on, Yorick will start to push that sign around to the side lane more and more.
You said that is also something to keep an eye on. Yorick will become a menace in the side lane here, but see if the tempo increased by Weibo is going to be enough. Jiejie pulling the trigger on the light, going to get instantly the cleanse out of him. The dragon still started by Tian. Looking for the win, becomes lightning, can follow through with it, but it's 4-man strong here from both sides. We will not have the top laners joining just yet, but Rookie might have found Xiaohu. Going for the damage. Xiaohu's scared for his life. Fate Sealed coming through from Rookie. Rookie trying to snap back with the damage, and Xiaohu goes down to Meiko. Another kill for the man as he's looking for the dragon. It goes the way of Tian. He'll secure the soul point and get out of there. IG will get the pick on Xiaohu, but that is it.
I mean, Rookie's been so clutch, but Tian's smites have been clutcher as the last 2 dragons that were contested, that were flips, go over to Tian and that smite key. And despite the best efforts of Rookie and, keeping Xiaohu's Azir pinned down, IG haven't been able to pick up any of these neutrals, which is going to be critical because it's Hextech Soul Point. Of course, we had the Mountain Soul last game, but another extremely powerful soul now can be threatened by Weibo at every dragon spawn.
And that's why I loved the spotlight on these junglers, because not only are they some of the biggest names in the LPL, but they're damn good mechanically. And we saw game 1 was holistically Jiejie's in the 50-50s. This game has been holistically Tian's, and we see the initial play by Rookie. I
mean, hey, Tian had to make this BLG jungle tryout game pretty competitive. He just has to answer with some spike keys, showing that why he might be the guy. Again, oh God, just not quite there for Jiejie. Wasn't able to get that smite off as Tian, it was Q3'd by Rookie. Managed to find the smite, find the dragon, and find that soul point for Weibo as he keeps that objective control perfect on the scorecard this game for Weibo.
That's so crazy. But we're still in such a contested game, Cubby. And we're 2 items. We're almost on 3. The stress, the tension. You could cut it with a butter knife. The outer turret now the focus for Weibo, but there's a collapse from IG. Breathe is here. Big old tanky boy. Oh, what was that, Jiejie? I think he was cooking a little bit and
banana
maybe
combo.
burned it.
Yeah. That's...
No,
okay.
Look at him. He's smiling. He knows.
I gotta
what
say,
the hell was that, man?
My issue with this game is Xiaohu's gonna TP mid. All right, they're gonna.
Did he just try to flick in League of Legends? Is that what I just saw? Maybe.
This mid out is
Gala's in a lot of trouble now, and Enchanted Crystal coming down. Gala waiting to flash, does so, but he's already lost a massive chunk of health, and because of that lack of pressure IG kept up in mid lane, they might even lose 2 turrets off the back of it.
Nice TP from Xiaohu. That's one way to pull people away from sides, as he got top in. Had a nice TP, and that's 2 turrets and a lot of gold going over to Weibo again as TheShy. Being very cautious. Those gates can sometimes help you answer those side lanes. Be able to get in position. And TheShy. I mean, anyone who was in fog, could have based, could have gated out to maybe get him attacking that inner. Will show some restraint as IG again. we have really set up the side lanes on the map here, Mazel. It feels like they can't really push past that halfway point, which is really tough. It really speaks to the control that Weibo has in this game.
It does.
The strength that Weibo's going to have is it only gets better as this game moves forward again, with just being able to threaten those dragons. It's going to be dire for IG.
They're trying to play away from this team fight. Atacon is still in the eyes of Weibo if they want. They're trying to buy time for TheShy in the side lane, trying to buy time for Rookie in the third item, and IG trying to buy time in this series for themselves, as they already took a very dominant game number 1, but Weibo have definitely woken up in this game too.
Really?
No, come on.
Not in our
Dude, I'm
jungle
telling you, he tried
game.
to Valo flick, and he just, you know, it just didn't work.
We can't be doing this in our BLG Jungle Trial series, all right? We can't be this Tian biased broadcast.
Oh my god, that was actually hilarious.
They did one of the
They
former
just
world
crucified Jiejie. That's going to be played on repeat. Look at Meiko, though. He's got a bit of a flank now. Hasn't been spotted out. They will realize that somebody could have been playing into this bush. They'll flush him out just like they did before. But this is still giving a little bit of that win condition to IG. TheShy slowly but surely whittling down that side. Even as the York grows stronger. Still Sion very strong as well.
I mean, you're not winning games taking interface, though.
Yeah, you're not.
That's where the concern's going to kick in for IG. And it really feels like despite the best efforts of Rookie, we are in a position where we're approaching this dragon spawn. And yeah, TheShy, he can get pushing these waves, but if they send multiple members at the York, I think that's still reason to be scared. As Meiko's going to try and find Breathe here, of course. Not able to connect with defending that pink ward, but it looks like IG just understanding they're down, going to try and play this dragon through the bot lane. Could be tricky.
You don't want to give over a Hextech Soul. Meiko can't get caught out early. We called him the goat so many times, but the goat's going down, and he's going to be fried up, as that is already a massive frontline tool for IG down ahead of the Hextech Soul.
I gotta say, I could understand like Meiko not burning the ult there because I think he's dead anyway, but like Meiko just can't be there.
Oh my god, and then we're just watching face checks here as Rookie not gonna get taken down just because that Glacial Prison from Jiejie stops the rest of Weibo, but that's Hextech, unless Jiejie can do it. He hasn't had it. He hasn't had it, but maybe a third makes it matter. As he's looking for an angle here, they pull the dragon out a little bit. He's gonna have Breathe. His body block. No! It goes the way of light! Hextech Soul secured, and IG's faith has just been shattered. As TheShy getting locked down, here comes the 2-2 train, and Gala getting knocked up. Breathe going with the double, and Meiko, he's back, but it's not nearly enough. He watches as everybody falls. Breathe having himself a heck of a moment on Sion, but Weibo looking to push this back to 3 games.
I mean, the last couple smites from Tian, those steals on the contested objectives, going to end up being huge for Weibo Gaming, as this Ashe Braum bot lane was really the stability this comp needed. Not to mention the objective control from Tian. Despite Rookie's best efforts, it's looking like a clean, or I can't say clean win for Weibo. It's looking like a clean objective win for Weibo, yeah? All objectives secured.
There you go. 100% objective secure. And a massive difference from that game number 1 faltering. Weibo bring us the distance, and they make this series a hell of a lot more interesting.
Yeah, sadly, the mid diff could not overcome the jungle diff that game, if you are a mid fan, as, again, Tian. Those contested smites were big. I think that was a lot easier of a comp to execute for Weibo in terms of the 5v5, and because the first few fights for IG just were grim, the first few objectives were secured for Weibo Gaming, IG couldn't really ever get that, threatening side lane power going. It wasn't like ever really something that Weibo was going to fall vulnerable to in that game. So a nice game for Weibo as they push us to 3.
And you think back to that first game, like if Weibo had played to their conditions, had played to what we set up for them, maybe this would be a Weibo 2-0. But the fact that they faltered in that one, now evening things up with a much more consistent performance. And Tian angry, bro. Like, Jiejie made him mad in game number 1.
Tian was angry. I think Tian had a great game. Definitely deserves the pog. Also, though, shout out to Erha. Had a nice bounce back. I think Meiko getting caught in the back half was definitely symptoms of just how far behind IG were in that game, and Meiko trying to make stuff happen. Still feel like Erha has had a nice debut, and we've had 2 games in a row where Erha has traded himself for kills up. I do really like that as a support, just with
That's
dives.
what we were talking about before too. Just the
Yep.
angles he feels and sees.
Yeah, it's been a really nice start for Erha. Again, I called out, like, if there's any support you're going to blind, it's got to be Alistar, Ashbrom, with the Xin already showing, and Azir too was a really good answer for that comp. I thought that Weibo's identity was very strong, very sound, but with that blue side win for Weibo, IG is going to get their hands on that coveted blue side here for Game 3, and what is going to be interesting middling series that we have in what you're calling our Super Sunday with 3 best-of-3s that we have for LPL.
Yeah, you know, we had that long pause in game 1. We had to make sure we get like all 9 games, and I here for sure to make sure our producer Mickey wants to die, which I feel so bad for. Thank you, Mickey, for sticking your way through. It's definitely going to be a long night for you.
I want to have good series, you know.
Yeah, you know, I am excited to see what this 3rd game has, because I think we get a little bit more chaos as time ramped up in this series, and especially how bloody this game ended up being, and a lot of fights going down early too. But game number 3, expecting to get even more of that.
Just think playing 4 melees and Ashbroms and Azir's Sion is hard.
Look at that difference in the end. Just
like, despite Rookie's best efforts, I cannot emphasize enough how well Rookie actually played in this game. Like, he was doing everything in his power to try and turn things IG's way. But again, that Xin playing towards the Ashbrom, that's a really powerful lane for Xin to go towards. A lot of gank assist there, a lot of ability for him to make things happen. And Tian found a couple early wins and really ran with that across the map. He was 3-0-2 really early, like when the game was at that 5 kills to 3 state, so involved in everything, making things happen, playing around his strong lane was a really good look for Weibo.
And we'll take a look back to some of the fights here as we go through the highlights. And winning out on that bot lane made it easy for Weibo. I think Light had some really crucial enchanted crystal arrows in that earlier part of the game to really propel them forward. And it came off this early gank, this early chaos in bot lane that led to a 2-1 victory, at least for them.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, and then the frozen wave from Light and Erha into this stack was so smart. It was so tough for IG to play. This did open up a bit of a lead for Rookie. As a little bit of a bummer that Braum, he wasn't able to completely flash out of that one. But again, they ran that wave. They then bounced it into a Xiaohu dive, so then Rookie got ahead. But Tian was the one that was ahead off the back half of this. He was involved in all those early plays, all those early kills, had an early Sundered Sky, and this is really the last play that we saw Weibo lose. This was the outstanding performance from Rookie again, who was so massive.
He gave us hope,
game.
Man. He gave us hope.
He was a real joy to watch in this one. As for me, Rookie has still been the MVP of the series. Even with the Weibo win here, but this is just so sick from Rookie, man. Jesus.
Yeah, really good stuff. But I mean, it
steals.
Further emphasizes the story that has been the story written for Rookie in the past few years, is that he's not the problem, man. He is not the issues.
He's part of the solution
in a lot of these situations. He is one of the solutions. Absolutely, but definitely a bit of a tough situation for IG. Still like that they were going for things, but it again was a situation where Weibo realized how they win and what they win with, and they were able to execute on that really well. And that's what the Weibo that kind of we expect with some of these names on it coming into the split, coming into the year had, and that's why some of these fluctuations have been really difficult to watch.
Yeah, still, I mean, I think Weibo. At least there, like, even with Xiaohu faltering a bit in the side lane, getting focused down, picking a few of those up, they did show some good rotations. Again, I think the identity and the strength of their comp is really sound, really, like, pretty easy to do. And you're playing into a comp where I think that, like, Ash, Braum, into all those melees, and I did really like Weibo's draft. I don't think that IG picked super well into it. So that said, it was a really good objective control from Tian, who really should be the player of the game for that series. And he took... I mean, full grubs, got the Rift Herald, got every Drake that spawned that game.
Yep.
No Baron needed.
He was angry from game 1. Lost like 3 Smite fights.
Hey, maybe he really wants his mid laner to be Knight. You know, maybe that's it.
He got the message. It's like, man, you're not looking good in game number 1. You got to turn it up, bro.
Yeah, you're down to the
You got the message from Knight.
As we're jokingly calling this the BLG Jungle Trout series, you know.
Please don't take it seriously, but it is funny.
I mean...
It's not serious. It's not gonna happen.
It's the fan narrative, and we're just leaning into it. All right, that's all.
All right. Well, we'll be getting to our MVP here rather shortly as well. And hopefully going off to a brisk game number 3 in our second
Tian,
series
man.
here.
He deserves it. The spike keys were sound.
True.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is today we're going to be able to go League of Legends like all day if we want. We'll get to that maybe a little bit later, but it is Tian going to take the MVP for game 2. His third of the
Easy
split.
peasy.
And yeah, easily done on the Xin Zhao. Very confident to take that early into the draft. And now we know why. He took control, took full objective control. That's something you won't see on this MVP graph. But nonetheless, a very dominant one for him. We'll see if IG or Weibo come out with the series win as we culminate this second series of the night with game 3 on the other side of this break.